Hi there, it's Caroline here. Good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. I am back because I've got some exciting things to share with you. There's something exciting happening next week which I want to tell you about. But before we get into that, just wanted to share a little funny story with you. It's Saturday afternoon here in the Cotswolds, and I've just been out this morning having a look at all the floods. It's been raining really heavily here in the UK. Last week or so, and where I live is on the River Thames, and we're on a floodplain. We're right at the top of the, like, near the source of the River Thames, and when it rains heavily, the river bursts its banks, which is fine because we're on a floodplain, so the water spreads out. Now I decided to go out and play with my new toy that I got for Christmas from my brother, which was a drone. And I've only flown it once before, and that was at my parents' house at Christmas. So I thought, great, I'd love to get some aerial shots of all the floodwater out and around. So I haven't had a lot of practice flying this thing. So I took it out down by the river, and there's loads of like really big fields alongside the river, so I thought I'll find a field somewhere, just plenty of big open space for me to practice getting this thing up and down off the ground and flying it and so on and so forth. And of course I got out there and it's all flooded. So I managed to find a little patch of grass alongside the river, not far from the bridge into town, a little patch of grass which I thought was big enough for me to practice kind of just getting up and down off the ground. I wasn't going to fly very far, I just wanted to go straight vertical up into the air, do it like a 360, bring it back down again. That's all I wanted to do. But it was quite windy. So got this thing off the ground, and the first thing it did, it was trying to hover, and it just started going backwards and backwards and backwards because of the wind towards the river. Yeah, so I sort of land it, I brought it down. Unfortunately, it went in the river. So what did I do? Run after it, reach over the side, try and grab it, rescue this thing out of the river. What happened? Yeah, I fell in up to my waist deep in this river. The water's flowing by. I don't know if anyone saw me. Nobody came to help, but it was fine. I mean, I got in literally right up until, probably my hips, and had to scramble my way out of this muddy bank. Dented pride somewhat. I can try and get my drone, which is now all wet, all back in the bag and everything, brought it straight home and dried it all off. So fingers crossed, it's out on the radiator right now trying to dry off. And I'm sat here snuggled under my other Christmas present, which was a heated blanket for my mum. Thank you very much, Mum. I've just had a shower, got some dry clothes on, and I'm warming back up again. So that's my Saturday afternoon. I am an adult, really, I promise. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that funny story with you because I haven't shared many stories on here for a long time. So just to remind you what a nutter I am. But anyway, I'm here today because I wanted to share with you there's a workshop happening next week, which I'm telling all my friends and family about because it's a workshop that I attended 2 years ago, and it blew a couple of things open in my mind. The way I look at money, really, and the way I look at managing money, using money, spending money, earning money, to try and enable my life, really, I suppose. And so I'll just take you back to where I was back then. So 2 years ago, I was 2020? So that has been 18 months after I quit my job. So I quit my job as a cruise ship photographer at the time. It was my second career. Because I decided to come home and start afresh, start anew. Wanted to not work so hard, to be quite honest. I wanted to, I'd done corporate life. I'd done 13 years as an IT consultant, traveling around to different customer sites, fixing software, training people on how to use software. And then I had a complete career change 7 years ago and went and became a cruise ship photographer and travelled around the world on cruise ships. But that still wasn't quite it. So anyway, I came back. I'd got some savings, so during my IT career I was pretty well paid and didn't have a lot of outgoings apart from just keeping my own roof over my own head, no family, no children, nothing like that. So it's only me to look after. And I managed to save a nice chunk of money, a nice little nest egg, which made me feel financially secure enough so that that I could quit my job basically and know I had a period of time where I had enough money to keep a roof over my head while I figured out what the hell I wanted to do next. Now, 4 months after quitting my job and coming home, of flailing around trying to figure out what on earth I wanted to do with the rest of my life, wanted to start a photography business. That was what I thought I wanted to do, but not in the traditional sense. because I still wanted the freedom to be able to travel and move around, and having just spent 3 years at sea, no fixed abode effectively, seeing lots of different cultures, countries, meeting lots of different people, the thought of coming and really settling down again. I wanted to be back in the UK because I wanted to be near friends and family, because I had missed lots of like family events and things like that, and friends, weddings, christenings, things like that. Being away for 6 months at a time is quite a long time. So I still wanted to be able to travel, but maybe not for quite so long, but have a flexible lifestyle. So I didn't want to be tied down by a job, basically. But I had this period where I had no money coming in, and I found this online business education platform, which was promised to teach me affiliate marketing, well, amongst other things, but that was the business model that I chose, because I thought it would, from what they said, it would give me the best flexibility in terms of being able to create a business that runs once you've got it, once you've figured out how to do it, once you've learnt the skills, once you've set up the with sales funnels and the marketing campaigns and things like that, basically selling other people's products and services for a commission, and getting good at the marketing side of it, getting good at being the middleman. Once you're able to do that, find the right people for a product and service, then you can automate that process basically, and money drops into your bank account. And great, I thought, I love the sound of that, because then I can do it from anywhere. All you need to do is a laptop really to do it, and a phone, so I could still travel around wherever I wanted. There was no cap on how much money I could earn, and I didn't need to work full time on it to keep it running. So that ticked a lot of boxes for me. But my problem was, so I spent a year, 18 months, a year or so, trying to get this business up and running, trying to learn all the skills, trying to pick the products and services to sell, trying to find the customers for them, learn how to create ads, marketing campaigns, all sorts of things. And what we were recommended was the fastest way to make money was to pay for adverts, do paid advertising. So that meant putting more money in, on top of the money I'd spent doing my training, to run adverts to basically attract people to the products and services that you're promoting. And so fine, I started doing all that, and I made a couple of sales, but I got to the point in the summer of 2020 when COVID had just hit, and so I couldn't move around anyway. But then I was stuck. I was literally at the point, end of March, I'd given notice to move out of this house because I wanted to cut all my costs, because I could see money going out and out and out of my savings. My savings just dripping down and down and down and down and down, spending it on living expenses and on marketing budget, and nothing coming in. Or if anything was coming in, I think, $30 here, $100 there. Not a lot of money considering the amount of money I was spending on marketing. I just hadn't got the skills yet. I wasn't proficient enough at what I was doing yet. But also in the back of my mind was just this real mental block, because I didn't want to, having to make the decision between spending your rent money, basically investing it in your business, not knowing if that money was going to come back to you or not. That was really hard. And that was not a good space to be creative, to be investing and trying things out and testing things. And there was so much pressure that I was putting on myself to, it's just got to work, it's just got to work. If it does, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work though? But what if I ran out of money? What if I ran out of money? And I just had this voices in my head going on and on and on. Yeah, but you're going to run out of money soon. But Caroline, you've got to make this work. Caroline, where's the magic pill to make this work? And so that was what was going on in my head at the time. And then I happened to come across this lady called Anne Wilson, introduced to her by somebody I was following online at the time, and was introduced to these workshops, to this lady who helps people who get out of struggling with money, get out of that whatever situation they're in. Some people are in debt, some people are just struggling to make ends meet, some people just don't know how to manage their money, and they're concentrating so much on money coming into their life, they're not watching what's going out of your life. And so I was looking for any answers at the time. I was looking for any solution to help me get out of this hole. And so I thought, what have I got to lose? I'll watch these workshops. So I did, and a series of online workshops. I think there were 3 or 4 back then, I can't remember exactly. And this lady, Anne, was just taking us through the concept of money and running our lives effectively ourselves as a business, in the sense that understanding what's an asset, what's a liability, what's income and what's outgoings, and how to understand all the different parts of your life. It's not just about if you're struggling for money, it's not just about bringing more money in, because, and I've had this conversation with a few people over the years about, I believe there's like a financial set point, that there's some people where every bit of money they get in, it goes straight out again every month. So let's say they earn a salary, let's say they earn, I don't know, 1,000 whatever currency a month, they will always spend 1,000. No matter, it doesn't matter what they spend it on, it doesn't really matter, but in that mentally, they will always spend what they get. So they will, every month, they will never be any better off than they were the previous month. They will never have grown or gained anything more than they had. Other people will always save a percentage of everything they get in. So if they get 1,000, they will only spend 900 and maybe put 100 in savings. Maybe it's even less. Maybe they'll spend 800 and put 200 in savings. Some people who need that security of knowing that there's money set aside for a rainy day. That was me, by the way. Other people are the ones who spend 10% more than their set point. So for example, if they get in 1,000, they will always spend 1,100 every month on a credit card or on a loan or on store cards or whatever it might be. I don't know, that's never been me, because I was always brought up never to spend more than I had. That's the programming that I was given. But anyway, so I was stuck in this, my mindset, my money mindset was save, but which had got me to the point in my previous life of a nice nest egg that I was then scared to spend. And the problem was I was scared to actually spend that money and actually, use it to make more money. Which I managed to get over when I quit my job and decided to just completely change my life. But what she was saying is these are money flows. And some people just have broken money flows. And if your money flow is broken, i.e. you always spend more than you get in, you're never going to get yourself out of the hole. So it was things like that she was talking about. And she was talking about financial freedom and how it took her 8 years of careful money management and using her money, watching what she was spending, but also the money that she was getting in, divvying it up and putting it into different pots. Some for today, some for tomorrow, and some for future, effectively, some for charity and some for growth. She talks about this thing called Wealth Pie, which if you watch the workshop, you'll understand. And it's about spreading your money across all these different things so that you're looking after yourself today, you're enjoying life, that you're spending, you're not just hoarding money, you're actually letting some of it out, but on things that actually really, she calls it blows your skirt up, things that really bring you joy, things that really light you up, that make life enjoyable and fun. You put some of it into savings so that you're saving, but that money is specifically to spend at some point in the future. It's expecting to go out of your life again, not to sit there and just hoard to make you feel safe. And then there's money that goes in investments, and a certain percentage of your money will go into investments, and she teaches you how to do the investing thing, which was the thing I never knew. And the thing I knew it was a thing, but I just thought that was something way complicated, or you had to have a lot of money before you even think about doing that. Not true. And how put money in assets that will grow over time without you doing anything. You just have to pick the right ones. And diversify across a number of different ones, because they all go up and down all the time. She teaches all of that. And then those assets will grow and grow and grow over time. And then that means that you're building up that's your safety net, that's your future money that you live off effectively in the future. Because once that asset pot gets big enough, then you can draw down off of it. You can sell a bits of it, or you can so certain assets will generate like interest or yields or bonds or things like that. So they will pay you money back for, like a bank account. If you put your money in a bank account, it earns interest, for example. Now there's lots of different types of assets that do something similar. So you get income from having those assets, for example. And then once your pot of assets is big enough, you can basically just live off it. And that is what she calls financial freedom. And so all this kind of stuff, she explains it way better than I do, was what she went through in these workshops. And so I thought, well, this is really interesting. And then she's got a program called Financial Freedom University that she teaches all this stuff, the how to do all this, how to put this in place in your life, how to fix your money flows, how to get how to monitor your incoming outgoings each month, how to divvy up your money to the right things, and how to invest it in, again, divvied up across different platforms. Now at that point I didn't have the money, I didn't want to spend the money. I didn't feel I was in the right place at that moment to invest in that program. But I took on a lot of the learnings that she'd given me, and they just sort of sat in the back of my mind, and I started to implement some of those bits and pieces in my life. And a few months on, and I was thinking, there is something to this. And so later on, she offered another program which was about investing, and so I joined. I saved up and saved up and saved up. I'd started earning some money by that point, actually by freelancing, not through my affiliate business. I decided I needed to sort the immediate money problem out and actually sell my skills as a freelancer. So that's what I've been doing the last 2 years to get myself back stable again. And then I saved up enough money to then do one of her programs, which then this investor program I did, which included this Financial Freedom University program, which is the kind of the Get You Started program, and started to implement all the things that she taught. So I implemented regular investing into certain different trackers and things like that. Index trackers is the basis, the easy bit, the foundations, if you like. It's not very sexy. She calls it boring is beautiful. And regularly pay money into stuff like that that's then going to grow over time, over the years. Prices will average out over time. Don't need to worry about all the technicalities of it. And I've started putting money in all these different pots, and that means that I've been saving. So I've had a safety net, so that in the months where I want to take some holiday, or I haven't earned enough as much income because I've been doing other projects which are going to grow me as an asset, so that I can be worth more in another project down the line, investing in myself as a business effectively. So I've been able to manage all those variable cash flows because I've got these buffers in place, because I've used her frameworks and her methodologies. And it's given me, my God, so much more peace of mind. Just knowing that I've got into good practices of keeping track every month of both my personal and my business accounts to see how much money I've got in, how much profit I've made, how I divvy that out. I've been able to do wonderful things like, because I've divvied the money up and it's been allocated, before I look at the whole pot and go, oh, spending money, I've been able to save up money to give to charity, for example. So I gave a nice lump sum to a local charity a few months back, which she was absolutely made over with. And I just felt amazing going, the fact that I feel like I've got enough money now to actually give away to others, as well as knowing that I'm saving, knowing that I'm investing, knowing that I've got enough day to day to live a comfortable life, just felt amazing. And that was all because of all these practices and strategies and systems that I put in place as a result of what this lady had taught me. So there's loads more to it than that. I mean, I got heavily into the investing side of it, and I've consolidated all my pensions. That is something that for years I had lots of different jobs in my past. I was a corporate employee for about 4 different companies, and I had bits of pensions with all 4 of them. And I didn't understand pensions. I kind of got the basics of it, but I felt like I wanted to bring them all together somewhere. For some reason, I felt like they'd do better as one big pot than as lots of little pots, but I had no idea. And I didn't want to take on a financial advisor to sort all that stuff out for me, because I thought, they're going to charge this, and I don't know if they're pulling the wool over my eyes or not. I've got no idea. And I know, and I believe so strongly that knowledge is power, basically, and knowledge is what buys us freedom. When we learn how to do stuff, and when we learn about how stuff works, then we can make the right decisions for us with full knowledge of what we're doing. That is so liberating, effectively. So I've sorted out all my pensions, brought them all together. I now invest in myself according to her plan, her portfolio plan. This is crazy. I never thought I'd be the one to do this, but I remortgaged. So I've got a flat that I used to live in that I rent out. It's tenanted. And mortgage inflation at the moment is crazy. Interest rates are rising. So I was due to remortgage anyway, because my mortgage deal was running out last year. So I went through the remortgage process. But this time, with all the confidence and the training I'd now had, I released some equity from it. So I took a lump sum, a load of cash, out of that property as cash, and I'm now reinvesting it in other places, because I know that I can make it grow faster and better and more as cash invested in a number of different things over the 5 years of my mortgage than the interest rate I'm paying on the mortgage. So I'm growing my net worth by being clever and being savvy, and it's just about being savvy. And it's things like that. So my net worth has grown. I looked at it the other day, 12% in the last year, in the last 12 months since this time last year, which I'm really happy about, A, as a newbie, and B, as the current economic situation. We're, borderline recession at the moment. The economy is a bit all over the place, to be honest, thanks to the wars and gas prices and countries that we don't mention, and the leaders of the countries that we don't mention. But despite all of that, because I've got my money spread in lots of different places, some of them have gone up, some of them have gone down, but as one's gone down, the other one's gone up, and so they've compensated for each other. And as a whole, as a result, my entire portfolio has grown by 12%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but imagine 12% each year, 12% this year, and then another 12% on top of that, and then another 12% on top of that. The law of compounding, which is something she talks about, means that over time, in the next 10-15 years, that's going to grow massively, far faster than money sat in a bank account earning interest, for example, far faster than me trying to earn more money, with all the promises of an online business and all that. Absolutely, I totally believe that there are possibilities to earn uncapped income with an online business, but I want to take my time over building the right business for me, and having taken the pressure off having to make my affiliate business work has meant that I can be much more strategic about and much more long-term planning about my online business, and build better foundations, make sure I've really got the skills in all the different areas that I need to make it work. And so I feel a lot stronger, a lot more confident, but also a lot more secure financially than I think I've ever done, to be honest, even back when I had my IT job, even when I was earning a good salary, because I had money coming in and I didn't know what to do with it. I felt like I knew there was something I should be doing with it, but I wasn't rich. I wasn't one of the, I didn't have a family to look after. I didn't have anyone else. I didn't have, didn't have enough money to get into these wealth management, all these people, these, millionaires who get their money looked after by some clever person or fund managers or whatever. I wasn't, my little pot of money, which to some people would not be a lot, but to me is only me, it's only me I need to look after. It was plenty. And so, but I just didn't know how best to manage it. And if I'd have known back then what I know now, I could be in a completely different position right now. So anyway, this workshop is running this next week. If you're interested, if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, just learning some of these principles and some of these ideas, so that there might just be one little nugget that you could take away from it that you could implement in your life, whether that's to do with how you spend, how you save, whether that's like renegotiating broadband contracts or something. I've renegotiated a lot of my gas prices, not gas price, no, I didn't do that one yet, that was fixed, but I did my broadband, for example, car insurance, checked, because I'm checking regularly each month, I noticed that my water bill was way more than it should be. So I contacted them and they were like, oh yeah, there's a problem there. And they've knocked my water bill right down to compensate because I'd overpaid. Things like that, just by keeping an eye on things. So if there's little nuggets like that you can take away from attending and watching these live workshops, then more's the better. And they're free. So she's doing 4 workshops next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, and in between days she's got some Q&As, so if you've got questions on what she's taught on the previous day, you can come on and she'll be answering questions live. So if you want to share something that how it applies in your life, or just listen to other people asking questions, and as she answers them, that might help you as well. And they're all recorded, so if you can't make them live, then you can always catch up or watch them later on in the evening. So they're happening at 12 o'clock UK time, 12 o'clock GMT, that is, every day next week, as I say, all the way through till Monday to Sunday, and they're free to watch. So what have you got to lose, really? Maybe you want to binge watch them on Saturday, that's absolutely fine. If you sign up and register, and I'll put a link below this video, then just register. That will get you onto the page where you'll be able to either sit in and watch live to these recordings, great way to spend your lunch hour, or you can click on it later and then go and watch the recording of the call, perhaps that evening, for example. I recommend personally, trying to keep up with them, because otherwise it will get a bit overwhelming to try and watch hours worth of content at the weekend, but as it works for you, whatever works best. But yeah, so by all means, if you're interested, take a look. As I say, I'll pop a link down below and just see if it helps you, see if it helps, because I know we're all struggling, lots of people are struggling right now, and all the talk in the news and all the media and everything like that is about how it's going to be. I saw in the news yesterday, they reckon end of 2024, 2025, the British government thinks that we're going to the economy is going to start growing again. So we've going to have a rough couple of years in terms of how the UK economy is doing for the next, where are we, 2023 now? At least, let's say 2 years, for example, of uncertainty and of, I think gas prices are coming down again now, but inflation is still up there at the moment, which means food prices, you know, petrol prices are slightly more sensible again now, but still, all these things, they chip away at the money that we could be, you know, using to enjoy life and actually live life to the full. And so thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, just you know, my name's Caroline, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know me, and I'm creating a business and creating a brand around my mission, which is to inspire, empower and educate people to quit the rat race, just like I did, and earn their income online through, there's many different ways you can do that, so that you can live a fun, fulfilling and independent life and live it to the full, because that's what I'm all about. After years of being in the corporate world, stuck in an office and doing the 9 to 5 like so many people do, to me it felt like drudgery. I mean, I enjoyed bits of it, I did, but I didn't like not being able to be the boss of my own life effectively. You know, getting sent off to different places on the cruise ships, getting sent off to different customers on my consulting job, missing it, you know. I used to play badminton, for example. I used to have to cancel badminton matches, or I just stopped playing badminton because I didn't want to be unreliable, because I didn't know when work would suddenly send me off. And especially as a single person, you know, they send us off a lot more than they do the people with families and things, because, you know, they've got kids at home, so they can stay in the office. Off you go. You've got no ties, have you, Caroline? You're free and single. Off you go. So that's why I want to help people who want to, and you know, the corporate rat race is fine for some people, and some people love it. It gives them security, safety, that's absolutely fine. But there are some people who know there's more to life, and know there's more out there to be experienced, more joy to be had, more adventure, or just who just want to slow down a little bit and just not have to rush every day, and just take your time to do things that you enjoy when you want to do them, not when a boss tells you need to do them, or some contract tells you you're supposed to be the most productive between these hours and then you're supposed to suddenly switch off at 5 o'clock. Yeah, that never happened for me. But anyway, I waffle on. Thank you so much for watching. This has turned into a bit of a longer one than I intended, but I know myself, I usually do. But if you've watched to the end, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, if you get a chance to watch the videos, the workshop, she only runs them once a year, so or on average about once a year. So if you don't catch them now, then you basically got until next weekend, which is what, the 24th of January, I think, something like that. 2023 we are, if you're watching this now, or watching this in the future. So the recordings will be available, I think, maybe even for the week after that. But certainly we've only got to the end of January to consume this lovely free content, and then it's disappearing. So so get yourself registered now. Get yourself in there. At least then you'll get the emails from her. You'll get the information about how to join, how to catch the recordings, how to ask questions, all that lovely fun stuff. And she's got some workbooks there as well, so you can work along with her and work out your numbers as you go along. For example, how much of a pot of money would you need to be financially free? What a question to ask ourselves. So yeah, click the link below, watch the video, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well, I hope you're doing awesome, hope you're safe. Give somebody a hug today, and don't forget to smile. All right, that's it from me for now. Bye for now. Take care.